go down, and that primarily puts GDP into pressure. So that is why always remember that when interest rate rises, GDP of the economy goes down. We take a real life example, correct? We take a real life example from 2010 to 2013. If you see, friends, then RBI had increased the repo rate from 5.25% to 8%, correct? This is a real life example because that time inflation had gone to 12%. Then the result was that since repo rate went up, fixed deposit started giving you 9.25%. But see the loan rates, loan became 11%. So when loans became 11%, obviously there were huge job losses in three sectors. Automobile sector, where 2 lakh jobs got destroyed. Real estate sector, where there was huge slowdown because people could not pay their EMIs and new housing loans reduced. And infrastructure companies who had leveraged balance sheet. So even they found it difficult because their monthly payment went up because of interest rate hike. The result was there was large scale unemployment and GDP crashed to 4.6%. That was lowest in 10 years. Always remember, friends, India consists of middle class population. So when they see that EMIs are rising, the interest rate is high, they typically tend to avoid taking loans, and when loans are not taken, the economy slows down. If you see even COVID-19 scenario, friends, in COVID-19 what has happened, unfortunately, though RBI played a vital role by reducing interest rate, correct, by reducing interest rate, they reduced the repo rate to 4%. But still you will be surprised that corporate loans are not picking up, friends, and that is the main reason that economy is still not giving good signs of recovery. Unfortunately, the reason is that people are still scared to take loans. Businesses are not confident that if we take loans, we will be able to repay them because there were so many job losses. In fact, between 1st April till date, more than 1 crore 10 lakh jobs have been lost, and these are formal jobs, no friends, proper salaried employees. Just imagine the impact this will have on the people associated with them. So this basically has created a scenario of slight fear, and that is why what I feel that till June 2021, till things completely settle down, COVID stops totally, and economic activity resumes to normalcy, I don't think basically we will be in a position to make things in a better manner. Correct. So this is something, friends, you need to keep it in mind. So even though interest rates are low in the current scenario, still economy is not picking up. What are the current interest rates? You will find current interest rates are, friends, at all-time low. The fixed deposits are giving roughly around 5.15% and home loan rates are around 6.9%. Frankly, yes, interest rates are one of the lowest level in the economy, friends. So that is why something we have to keep it in mind. So government, why this government has done that? Because it wants demand and consumption in the economy to pick up. Correct. That is what government primarily tries to want, that demand and consumption in the economy should pick up. That is the whole objective of government. Now let us see how primarily things work out on this front. If we talk of global monetary policy, if we talk of that, then in case of global monetary policy, friends, globally central banks also have reduced interest rates to a drastically low level to create demand and consumption in their economies. Even there also globally monetary policy has played a vital role. See, if we talk of USA, the interest rates are between 0 to 0.25%. UK, it is half a percent. Europe, it is half a percent. Japan, it is totally negative, and Arab world around 3 to 4%. Even, friends, in the current scenario, India's interest rates is one of the highest in the world. And we will always have relatively high interest rates for the simple reason that we are a labor intensive economy. All these are basically capital intensive economy. So that is the typical difference between these things, friends. So as far as global monetary policy is concerned, as far as the global monetary policy is concerned, friends, there also low interest rates have played a vital role in creating demand and consumption in the economy. Always remember, when we talk of global effect of global monetary policy, USA is the key player. Always remember, US economy is the main player, friends, when it comes to global monetary policy. Correct. US economy is the primarily player in that. For the simple reason, friends, that US made their interest rates near to zero because of 2008 global financial crisis. Even today their interest rates are 0.25%, correct? So there is huge liquidity in US banks, and that liquidity is basically coming through FIIs, foreign institutional investors, into various emerging stock markets like Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. These stock markets are attracting lot of money. Correct. In fact, in 2020, 2020, friends, FIIs invested 1,68,000 crore rupees in Indian stock market. Not one or two, friends, but 1,68,000 crore rupees have come into Indian stock market through the FII. So this shows the power of global monetary policy. Then, if we talk of stock market and monetary policy, always remember, friends, that globally, when interest rates are low, obviously money flows into stock markets, and especially US. Always remember, friends, when USA reduces interest rates, money will flow into stock markets. When USA increases interest rates, money will go out of the stock market. Correct. Always remember that point. And that is why US monetary policy is considered very, very critical and important. Always remember US monetary policy. It is the epicenter of everything. So US does well, the world economy does well. If US is in difficult situation, the world will be in difficult situation. This is for the simple reason, friends, that US economy size is $21 trillion. That is the size of US economy, and which is a large size, friends. It's a too large a size. Correct. Second largest country in terms of purchasing power is China. It is at $14 trillion. We are sixth in the world at basically $2.8 trillion. So we are relatively still quite behind as compared to US. See, three main sectors in India which have a direct negative relationship with monetary policy are these three: real estate, automobile, and infrastructure companies. So always remember, when interest rate rises in the economy, then these sectors will see their sales reducing. And when interest rate falls in the economy, these sectors will see their business improving. So this is something, friends, very vital. Real estate, automobile, and infrastructure companies, these three always will have a negative relationship. Negative relationship means what? Basically, when interest rates rise, these sectors will see a downfall in their sales, and when interest rate falls, these sectors will see an improvement. For the simple reason that in India, friends, 95% of the houses are sold on loans, and 90% of the vehicles are sold on loans. So that is something, friends, you have to keep it in mind. That is something very vital, very critical. And infrastructure is the backbone of our economy. So if infrastructure companies find that their EMI payment or interest burden has gone up, they stop expanding or they stop taking new loans. So that makes economy go for a slowdown. If you take, friends, 10-year GDP data and 10 years repo rate data, and if you try to find out a coefficient of correlation, you will find negative relationship between the two. Negative relationship. Yes. See, why monetary policy is so important in India? That is something very vital. See, monetary policy is important because of simple reason that we have more than 70% middle class population, friends. Always remember, we have 70% of middle class population. So that is why they will buy house, car, and other things on loan. So when they basically take on loan, they would calculate their EMI. Now, if they feel that interest rates are low, then they will go ahead and buy house, car, and other things. But if they feel that interest rates are high, then they will postpone their buying, which will reduce consumption and demand in the economy. Correct. That particular point we have to, friends, keep it in mind. That is the main aspect of thing, friends. So that is why monetary policy is something very, very critical and important. Monetary policy, friends. Always remember that monetary policy in India is even more important because of our population concern, friends, because we have large chunk of population in the lower segment. So that point, friends, we have to keep it in mind. Now we will try to understand three scenarios. What will happen if interest rates are too low? So that has its own set of repercussions. What will happen if interest rates are too high? And what happens for India where interest rates are balanced? So let us try to understand that. See, always remember, friends, if interest rates are too low in India, if interest rates are too low, then lot of people will try to go and take loans. So when large number of people go and take loans, what will happen? Obviously, it will create a bubble. Because typically what has been observed is that when interest rates are too low, na, typically those people who are not financially sound or who are less eligible will always try to go and take loans. They will be the first to go and take loans. So that obviously affects the asset quality of the banks. The same thing had happened in 2008 global financial crisis in USA, where large number of people took loans because interest rates were at 1%, and ultimately that housing bubble crashed out. So that particular point we need to keep it in mind. Correct. So if interest rates are too low, then obviously the economy will not grow because it will create financial risk in terms of default. So that is not something desirable, friends. So always remember that too low interest rates is also not useful for the economic growth. On the other hand, what will happen if interest rates are too high? See, always remember, if interest rates are too high, then what happens is even the strong and eligible people will be hesitant to take loan because of EMI burden, correct? And especially corporates will not expand, friends. Why will corporates not expand? For the simple reason that they will also feel that if I keep on taking more loans, we will not be in a position to basically repay those loans and the corporate sector will slow down. So that will also create a major problem as new jobs will not get created, friends. And that is why we need to have a balanced approach. Always remember, too low interest rates and too high interest rates both are not suitable as far as our economy is concerned. Finally, what we need to have, see, we typically need to have a balanced monetary policy where basically every middle class and lower middle class segment has important dream of buying a house and a car, correct? That is something very vital. So basically we need to have a balanced monetary policy that interest rates are neither too low nor too high, and that is why when interest rates are moderate, then only sound people with good repayment capacity will go and take loans, correct? So when they take loans, the demand in the economy will also pick up and banking NPAs will also be under control. So this particular point, friends, we have to keep it in mind. This is something very vital, very important. So that is why always remember that India needs to have typically a balanced monetary policy that is far more desirable. So with this, friends, I conclude my presentation, and now we can have question answer session. So please feel free to ask questions. Don't hesitate in asking any questions. You can write your questions in the chat box, or alternatively, you can please unmute yourself and you can ask. Yes, friends, please feel free to ask questions. Don't hesitate in asking questions. Whatever question you want to ask, please ask. Yes, now it has started. Yes, Jovial, your question is actually very valid. See, overpopulation is a problem. It's a fact, friends. And a government is also thinking primarily to regulate this by bringing a voluntary population control bill. And frankly speaking, that is the need of the hour. See, I have visited 12 countries, not one or two, but 12 countries, including USA, Japan, and other countries. See, basically, if you ask me one single line, okay, why these countries are so ahead of us and why they are doing so well, the simple answer is that less population and whatever population is there, they are highly qualified, educated people. So obviously implementing anything is very easy. What is our greatness? We have 137 crore people, to be very frank, 50% uneducated. So with this segment of population, how will you quickly reform and do things? So always understand that as far as India is concerned, we need to control the population, and that is frankly the need of the hour. Yes, it doesn't mean that we force someone, but voluntary control is something, it is high time we try to implement it. That is something very important. Yes. Lalita, can you elaborate the crash bubble in detail? Okay, fine. See, please understand what happens is that when interest rates are too low, if I take a real life example, see in USA, what had happened in 2001, there was WTC attack, correct? So after that attack, US economy tried to slow down. When US economy slowed down, what did Federal Reserve do in order to revive US economy? They reduced the interest rates from 5% to 1%. They drastically reduced the interest rates. So basically, when interest rates drastically went down, obviously large number of people who were not eligible or who had less financial standing, even they went and applied for a loan. Why banks gave them loan? The reason was that time there was a housing bubble. Bubble means the price of the assets were rising very fast, but fundamentals were not improving. Correct. So we take an example. Suppose a US bank is there. A person went and asked for $100 loan. The bank very well knew that this person's repayment capacity is weak. Even then, it gave a loan of $100 because it was having a confidence that if that person does not pay $100, I will sell its house and repay one and recollect $150 because the house was quoting $150 on paper. But when where this strategy went wrong, this strategy went wrong because lakhs of people defaulted in 2008. Lakhs of people defaulted in 2008. Correct. Lakhs of people defaulted. So typically what happened when lakhs of people defaulted with the housing issue, when large number of people defaulted, that basically created a problem because when companies went for auction, they found that when the banks went for auction, not even $20 were recovered because supply of houses was so high, and that actually led to crash in the US banking system. The biggest crash came in the form of Lehman Brothers. You are fully aware Lehman Brothers went bankrupt. The largest investment banker had to go bankrupt. So that basically created a huge problem in the overall financial system, correct? And that put pressure on the bank. So this is something, friends, we need to keep it in mind. So that primarily is called as a crash bubble. Similarly, in India also, please understand, friends, that if we keep interest rates too low, then large number of people will start applying for a loan without having proper background or repayment capacity, and that basically affects the economy in a negative way because finally these people will default and it will increase NPAs in the banking system. Prithvi, obviously, see, increase or decrease in interest rates will definitely affect a common man. Rather, it actually affects a common man. Please understand. See, today, if I want to take a loan, correct, what will I calculate? When I calculate that, suppose I need to take a 40 lakh rupees loan. So I will calculate what is going to be my EMI, correct? What is going to be my EMI? That is what I will calculate. Now, if interest rates are high and if basically EMI is rising, obviously if interest rates are high, I will have to pay more interest, so my EMI monthly installment will also come high. So when my monthly installment comes high, obviously I will be under fear, okay, will I be able to repay that loan, will I be able to honor all my monthly payment obligation? Obviously that risk and that fear may sometimes lead to cancellation of my decision. So I will cancel that. No, right now it is better I do have a wait and watch approach, and I will take a loan only after things settle down or interest rates are low. So please understand, if that happens, obviously economy will see a slowdown because if loans are not taken, then even corporates don't expand and jobs are not get created. So that is how it affects a common man. See, Arpita, real life example means, see, this is the actual thing that had happened in 2000, between 2010 to 2013. And if you take even the current scenario, see, between 2010 to 2013, inflation went to 12%. So when inflation was in double digit, obviously what happened? RBI started increasing repo rate drastically. So RBI increased the repo rate to 8%. Now when repo rate was at 8%, the FD started giving you 9.25% and loans became basically 11%. So when loans became 11%, it obviously put lot of pressure, and that primarily resulted into what I can say, that primarily resulted into downfall of the this thing, consumption and demand in the economy. Just give me 1 second, 1 second. So friends, basically real life example means what? Okay, in 2010 to 13, that time really inflation was at 12%, and because of that repo rate RBI increased it to 8%. Now when repo rate was at all-time high of 8%, FD started giving 9.25%, but loans became 11%. So when loans were at 11%, obviously that created pressure in the system. That created pressure in the system, and overall the demand and consumption. Selima. So overall demand and consumption in the economy went down, and that primarily created a problem because there were a lot of job losses. Corporate stopped expanding. So when corporate stopped expanding, obviously it created a trouble in the overall system. So that is how, friends, interest rate affects the movement of the economy. So keep that particular point in mind, friends. See, Abhishek, if you do MBA finance from a good B school, your salary can anyway start around 50,000 rupees a month. Yes, that's a real figure I am quoting. 30 to 50,000 rupees a month, you can go with a starting salary, and that is a handsome amount, friends. Please understand that for that you need to do MBA finance from a good B school, and for that you need to appear for CAT exam. CAT is common entrance test, common admission test that happens in the month of November. So in November every year CAT happens. So if you crack that exam with good rates, you can definitely shine out very well. What is repo rate, Arpita? Repo rate is the rate at which RBI lends money to commercial banks. Please understand, it is the rate at which RBI will lend money. Correct. So when RBI increases repo rate, what will happen is when RBI increases repo rate, then overall interest rates in the economy goes up. So when overall interest rate in the economy goes up, you will get more interest on FDs also, but loans will also become more costly. So that will basically create an issue. So that is typically called as a repo rate. Correct. So that is why repo rate is something very vital, very important, friends. It directly affects the movement of interest rates in the economy. So that particular point we have to keep it in mind. See, 2008, friends, global financial crisis, when it had happened in USA, friends, world over, what FIIs did, they withdraw money from all global markets. They had withdrawn money and from all stock markets. In India was also not spared. So from India also a lot of money was withdrawn. In fact, they had sold shares worth 52,000 crore rupees of shares were sold by them. 52,000 crore rupees of shares were sold by them. And as a result, when these shares were sold by them, obviously there was drastic fall in our stock markets also. Our stock markets from 21,206 went to 7,600. So that had negatively affected our markets also. As far as real economy is concerned, we were relatively able to do well for the simple reason that our real economy is much more independent. Correct. It is not dependent on exports and other things. So that is the reason that our real economy was able to do well. See, uh, Rajnandani Yadav, your question is what things are important to do MBA. See, why MBA is important? Because that gives you a corporate exposure, and plus in MBA there are internships also which you will do actually, that is on job training in various companies. So that will help you to get more structured way, and you will be able to do things in a far better way. So that is why MBA is something which is important. You should always try to do MBA finance. That is what I would strongly suggest you. Arpita, as far as basically monetary policy and sectors are concerned, please understand that in India, automobile sector, housing sector, and infrastructure, these three have a negative relationship with monetary policy. So that means whenever monetary policy goes up into the, that is interest rates rise in the economy, these sectors will see a slowdown in the business, because in India 90% of the vehicles are sold on loan, 95% of the houses are sold on loan. Correct. So that is something you have to keep it in mind. So all these sectors will typically tend to have a negative relationship. What is global monetary policy? If we talk, global monetary policy means that globally what interest rate movement is happening currently. US Europe are the main epicenters at the global level, and we have already seen that USA the interest rates are between 0 to 0.25%. In UK it is half a percent, Europe it is half a percent. So interest rates are at drastically low level. Correct. When interest rates are globally at low level, obviously So please understand that global monetary policy is vital because globally, if interest rates are low, then in India also we typically reduce interest rates, correct? And when interest rates are low, people are able to do good type of trading and other things. So that is why global monetary policy is very critical and very important. Why RBI increases repo rate? See, RBI increases repo rate in order to control inflation. Always remember that is the objective of RBI. So RBI increases repo rate with the main objective of controlling inflation. That is something very important, friends. See, inflation is the independent variable and interest rates are dependent variable. So when basically inflation rises in the economy, RBI will increase interest rates. And when interest rate goes up in the economy, obviously that has a negative impact because we have large chunk of middle class population. So that particular point we have to keep it in mind. See, RBI has kept a target of inflation between 4% and 6%, correct? So that is something we have to remember. So when RBI increases repo rate, obviously what happens is interest rates will rise in economy, and the reason for increasing interest rate is inflation goes up in the economy. Monetary policy are very useful in controlling inflation and the supply of money in the economy, friends. Always remember monetary policy is very vital for that. See, fixed deposit is something, friends, which will give you safety of capital. So, fixed deposits, if you do, that has to be a part of your overall investment portfolio because in fixed deposits, there is safety of capital and high liquidity. Whenever you want, you can withdraw your money. So, that is something you need to keep it in mind. As far as stock market and monetary policy is concerned, even that is very vital because stock market and monetary policy will also help you to generate good amount of what I can say returns over longer duration. See, stock market always gives more return in the long term. So keep that particular point in mind, friends. If you do MBA finance with a good B school, yes, you can definitely get a chance to get job outside also, friends. But before that, you should have some years of experience in India. See, experience is what is required. So if you have basically good amount of experience, then definitely you will be able to get a job outside India also. See, again, I will tell you, do MBA finance by appearing in CAT exam because common admission test, that score is valid in most of good MBA B schools. So if you have done that, you will be able to get good universities and you will be able to get a good job. See, there are 19 IIMs in India, so you can do your target should be reaching an IIM. Apart from IIM, there is basically JBIMS in Bombay, KJ Somaiya, SPJ in NMIMS. There are many top B schools from which you can do an MBA. So monetary policy is useful for economic development for the simple reason because if interest rates are low, corporates will expand. If corporates expand, job opportunities get created and ultimately economy does well. So there is a strong linkage between monetary policy and overall economic development. So keep that particular point in mind, friends. Friends, the attendance link has been posted. Please fill it and then exit. Don't exit without filling the attendance link. Please fill this attendance link in the chat box, friends. Attendance link has been given in the chat box. Please fill it up and then only exit. So here, friends, I think I have been able to answer all the questions. Are there any other question you want to ask? Then put it in the chat box or else we can call it a day. Please fill the attendance link, friends. Okay, friends, then thank you very much for your patient listening. Please fill the attendance link and then exit, friends. Thank you so much. We meet tomorrow.